Good morning and welcome to the programme. We trust you're having a nice Wednesday morning. It is nice and bright and sunny around Waterford City at present and many parts of the southeast. Hope you have a good day and you're all set for Christmas. Don't you love when people ask you that? Are you set for Christmas? Particularly when you're a bloke, as they say it in London. You haven't done a thing, just like me at the present. Text and WhatsApp 083 3333 975. Later on this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we are going to be interviewing a certain chap by the name of Rory Cowan of Mrs. Brown's Boys. We got a massive response there last month when we had him in, so he's going to come back to talk about all things Yuletide. So if you want to give us a shout, send us in a text, send us in a message. If you want to get an autograph signed by him, let us know please and we will oblige. He's a really, really nice guy. He's going to be here at 2 o'clock. Or if you're around, you can pop over to the Broadcast Centre here in WLR in Ardkeen and maybe get a picture taken with him after the interview. We're going to have our competition later on in a little while, the 12 Days of Christmas with Mulligan's Pharmacy, so we'll let you know about that. We're also going to be talking to Amy Young, who set up You-Me in Waterford, selling environmentally friendly and sustainable products online for a sustainable Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, Richard Grogan, a Dublin solicitor who specialises in employment law and especially Christmas parties. Can you believe it? 20% of all sexual harassment claims come out of the Christmas party. It's a high-risk issue for employers. We are going to be talking about that this morning. We're also going to be talking to people that are using or trying to avail of the Stoma Clinic in Waterford. That doesn't open a lot of times. That's what they're saying. Bishop Alphonsus Cullinan is coming in about priests over Christmas and services possibly having to be curtailed. And Mike Fox from local band Chimpambi will be in as well with the new album. Now, as you heard on the bulletin there, families were phoned yesterday evening. 3 young men. There was Deise, there was Pollack, Sullivan, and there was Oisín. They were allegedly assaulted in April in Waterford, off the Dunmore Road. Now, the alleged perpetrators, the Gardaí have conducted an investigation and 4 people were questioned and the boys themselves were questioned and the file was sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions. So, for some reason, the families don't know this. The families don't know why. But they're going to look for an explanation from the DPP. They were told that there will not be charges brought against 2 of the alleged perpetrators regarding this horrific attack, particularly in relation to the acid attack. We don't know what substance was used, but effectively what they were saying at the time was a form of acid. As you know from the time, young Deise, 17 years of age, Deise Agbaheri, he suffered horrific injuries to the face and other parts of the body, Pollack and Oisín as well. So in a minute I'll be talking to Pollack Sullivan himself. I'm also going to be talking to Emma, who's Oisín's mother. But firstly, I called this morning to Daise's house. And I spoke to his mother, but firstly, spoke to his father, but firstly, his mother, Christy. You can understand they're very upset. You were contacted by the Gardaí and the family members of other people were contacted by the Gardaí yesterday. What did they tell you?
Well, what she was explaining, what I understand from what she was telling me, she said 2 of the boys will be given juvenile caution. That's it, that they won't be charged for what they did. So that's what I understand about it.
What was your reaction when you heard this?
Well, my reaction was, I was like, is this real or it's just kind of a story, you know? And I didn't want to say anything to her, so I said, okay, I've heard you.
And you're going to meet her later today?
Yes, I have an appointment with her. I'll meet her later.
To look for an explanation?
Yeah, for her to explain better.
So a juvenile caution would mean that the boys are not going to be charged?
No, they won't be charged. I know about juvenile caution. Yeah, I did law. I did social care, so I know about it. They just be cautious that, okay, maybe what they did was bad and, that kind of a thing. At this stage, I don't really have anything to say, but it's unreal. And I'm really, really shocked about that for somebody, for what they did and what I went through, what my family went through, what we're still going through, what the young man went through. In between hospital to hospital, we're running Waterford and Cork like we're going to trauma. And just for it, after a couple of months, They don't even know what I'm going through. It's because we don't really access other services. Like I've been to where I am his psychologist, I'm his psychiatrist, I am his nurse, like we do everything within family. And even, family friends, we've been doing that service to him. Like, we cancel him, we do everything, so I don't think so. I don't think, no. They can't end, they can't close the chapter with this. No. It's not good for the young man. It's not. I'm disappointed about that, to say they are going to be giving juvenile closure and that's so. No.
What are you going to do? Are you going to fight?
Of course, I will. Of course, I will fight. Of course, the whole of my family, we will fight. We will fight it. No, I will.
So the Gardaí will be able to explain what the situation is, but if that's the decision of the Director of Public Prosecutions, there may be very little you can do.
I will appeal to the minister. I will appeal to the Taoiseach. I mean, this is very, very unfair for somebody to do that to my son. Except the only thing I will take the caution, he should bring back my son the way he is before. Because the incident has changed his look and everything that you're telling me that they're just going to give the whatever. I don't know them. I don't want to know them. That's what I want in this situation. I just want justice for the boys. I mean, you don't find liquid all around whatever. It's pre-planned, premeditated. So why would they give them juvenile caution? So it meaning that if anybody does that in Ireland, then that is what is going to happen. No. I'm talking from my child's perspective. This is a young boy. He has never any confrontation since I gave birth to him in Waterford. Even my family I've never been involved in any crime in whatever in this, since I've been living in Waterford. So why will somebody do this to my son? And just for the guy to wake up and ring me on the phone and she's talking to me that, just a juvenile caution. No. No, it's not possible. I know what we went through as a family. I know what he went through. All the pains and everything. No. We had sleepless night. But them with their family, they were in their house enjoying themselves. But I was driving Cork. 2 a.m. I was on the road going to Cork. No way. No.
How is Deise?
He's all right. Thank God for God. No.
There's nothing other than to say, for social justice perspective, it's good that when somebody has done wrong, he should get commensurate punishment. And I say that way that other than that, you tend to encourage foul behavior. If people do crimes, they do silly things, social things against the government, and they go scot-free, then you are setting the roadmap for such occasions to become the norm.
Are you surprised that a court case would not even happen? Like, if he was found innocent at a court case, that would be different. The fact that a court case is not happening.
That's the issue here. The issue is that if people have done things of that gravity, they should be taken to court and let the court decide. But for the guards or the DPP, we don't really know. Let Christians go there to probably explain better and put it in writing. For now, everything they're saying is hearsay. It's just a call. You can't take that kind of monumental decision and say by word of mouth. You have to put it to writing that this is the decision of DPP or from the police will know.
Does your family feel lonely? Feel left out?
About this?
The system?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because ever since, for a couple of months, like they said, we have a liaison officer. And what I understand about liaison officer, he's supposed to, giving us feedback, what is going on. About a couple of months ago, this kind of call, I had this kind of call, just on the phone. I'm gathered, so, and this is the situation. And that was all. Pam, the phone went off, and I'm like, so I didn't say anything. So nobody was coming to us. Nobody was giving us any feedback. We didn't know what was going on. Even on the street, people, asked me what is going on, like I said, I don't have a clue. I don't know. The last word I had was, we're waiting for the files has been sent to DPP, so we're waiting, and that's all.
Are you entitled to an explanation from the DPP? Maybe the rules are changed now. Maybe you're entitled to some.
I don't know, but I'm going to find out about that, because I don't really know, about this, because this is my first time of coming close to the God and the law and all that. I've never,
Are you surprised it's not going to court?
Yes, I'm very surprised. But I'm not taking it. That's what I will tell you this morning, that I am not taking it. It should go to court, because what they did, they could have. We're still going for treatment. We're still going, even with his eye. The last time we went to hospital, we're still dealing with his eyes, and everything. So why would somebody pour and, I don't want to name anything, whatever liquid, even hot water or whatever. Why would you pour it on somebody's face? And just after a couple of months, you're telling me you're giving the person juvenile caution, that the case won't go to court. No, I'm not taking that. The only way I would take this, the person that poured the liquid should come and, change his face to how he was. He was a young man, never since I gave back to him. They should go to Waterford and find it. Even my GP, he never assessed GP. He's never been sick. He's never been admitted since I gave back to him. Just for somebody to wake up and pour him liquid. And we've been going from hospital to hospital. And the young man has been going through a lot. That I was out of work for good 3 months, looking after him. And up till now, I'm still looking after him, emotionally, physical, and everything. Do they even know what he's going through? Then I wake up and tell the young man that, well, the people that did this to you, they said they just want to give them juvenile caution. Why? No, this is unreal. Unacceptable. I will not. I'll fight it. I know, yes, but something must be done. Justice must be done, because they did something that is not right. So it has changed my life. Yeah.
It's changed Tega's life.
Or changed everyone's life, my family, even extended family that are not in Ireland. The situation has done that to us. It has. Even I'm scared. Even for my youngest, I'm scared. I'm living in fear. I can't even allow them to go out for long, because every time I think something can happen, anything can happen, It has changed my life, honestly.
It's changed their lives. There has more to come out on this. We are going to be talking in a second to Pollack Sullivan and also to Emma Daly, Oisín's mother. So you've been listening to an interview with Christy and her husband, Agbahira, and that's Tega's parents. A lot of texts and comments coming in. The Gardaí were investigating this assault in April, and we understand that 2 of the young men are going to receive a juvenile caution. There was 4 allegedly involved in this assault, so we don't know what's going to happen with the other 2. So thank you everybody for sending your texts and comments in to 083 3333 975. I'm not going to read some of them out, because again, we don't know what's going to happen regarding the other young men. What I did in the last few minutes, just before we came on air, I spoke with Pollack Sullivan. Pollack is one of the 3 young men, Tega and Oisín, who were allegedly assaulted in this incident in April. And here's a quick interview with Pollack, and then you'll hear an interview with Emma Daly, who's Oisín's mother. Pollack Sullivan, good morning.
Hi, Damian, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks, I'm all right. You were phoned as well by the Gardaí yesterday, were you?
Yeah, we were, we received a phone call from there yesterday evening to let us know what's happening to 2 lads.
What were you told? That they're going to receive a juvenile caution only?
Yeah, 2 of the main instigators, they're going to receive caution only.
What was your reaction?
We're all furious, we can't believe it, because and we were the victims. Then we all get phone calls saying that the people who actually done it to us are only getting cautions and a slap under us treaty. No one can believe it. Absolutely no one. Oisín's mother found out before any of us, and she was furious. I was in work, I come home from work, and my mother told me, everyone's furious.
Have you been told, is there anything else you can do, or any way of appealing it, or anything like that?
No, they just rang us to let us know what was happening to the lads and that, and my mother gave out to the guards how is this happening and that. And that's what the DPP said to do, is just give them a caution. So I'd say we're just going to have to appeal it somehow to bring it back up. Because
how are you now? How are things?
Not too bad now. Got a job now, so kind of settling in now. Over a year's going well, getting things on the straight and narrow at the moment. And yeah,
it's still hard to believe it's not even a year ago yet. It's probably, has it been the worst year of your life?
No doubt. So.
Emma, good morning.
Good morning, Damian.
Emma Daly, Oisín's mammy. Emma, you got a phone call as well yesterday, did you?
We did.
And what did the Gardaí tell you?
Well, they told us that the guy that assaulted our lads was going to get a caution.
A juvenile caution, is that what it's called?
A juvenile caution.
And
so basically a slap on the wrist.
What was your reaction, or how did you feel?
Shocked, overwhelmed, just couldn't believe that this is our justice system, to be honest.
And is there a possibility that charges might be brought against any of the others involved?
Well, the two lads that are over 18, that's still pending, so there could be assault charges. Going ahead there, we don't know, we just have to wait. It's a waiting game, the same as it was before.
Are you surprised it's taken so long for decisions to be made?
Yes, very surprised because of the severity of the incident in the first place. It shouldn't have taken this long. It should have been an open and shut case. It's a horrific thing for one human being to do to another, and never mind a teenager do to another teenager.
Have you been told anything about, can you appeal it, or what can you do, or what are you going to do today? Is your head in a tiz? My
head's in a spin at the moment, but yes, we're definitely going to look into any possible route that we can find. As far as I'm concerned, we're not going to leave this lie. Our lads deserve justice. They're scarred for life. And I think that someone should be punished for it. And it will be appealed if we can possibly appeal it. And we'll do everything in our power to do that.
What sort of a year has it been for Emma because of this?
It's been a nightmare. We don't know from one end of the day to the next. Some days what we're doing. The first few months, we spent most of our time up and down to Cork Hospital. Oisín's still not released from Cork. Hopefully his last appointment will be January, but there's no guarantees. So it's just been an absolute nightmare. It's the only way to describe it.
What do you think of the Garda investigation?
Honestly, I don't know what to think of it. I suppose we can't, at this very moment in time, until we actually seek the report and to seek the decision making, we can't point fingers at this very moment in time.
You don't want to comment, yeah, no, that's understandable.
Yeah, no, I can't, I suppose we have to wait and see what happens. The way they treated the lads, now that's a totally different story. They were victims at first, and then all of a sudden it was starting to turn on them as well as the lads that caused this. But as I said to you, we can't really comment until we see the report. Try and get a report and see what way they went about doing it.
Would you look at?
I don't appreciate guards coming to my door the day my son starts the leaving cert and asking me, had I ever seen a bag that was found at the scene, a bottle, an empty acid bottle that was found at the scene, had I ever seen it, insinuating that my son was part of that? No, I don't appreciate that.
What are you going to do now? Do you want to fight this?
Yes, without a doubt.
So you'll be looking for answers and looking for meetings with the Gardaí? We'll
be looking for a lot of answers, yes.
Emma, Thanks for talking to us this morning.
No problem, Damian.
Yes, that's Emma Daly there, Oisín's mother, talking to us this morning. And you heard Pollack Sullivan earlier. Apologies about the quality of the phone line. As I say, a lot of texts and comments coming in about this. A lot of sympathy for especially Christy, that's Tega's mother, and for the family, and asking that justice be done. What we'll do is we'll follow this up later on today and tomorrow and see what the latest developments are, if there is going to be a way of appealing it, and also if there's going to be any other developments from the other young men allegedly involved. So we'll let you know when we have the very, very latest. Coming up, a sustainable Christmas. Lots of waste, lots of stuff thrown out at Christmas. Well, Amy is going to be here to tell us how you can have a sustainable Christmas. Welcome back to the programme. You know when somebody tells you that you did something a few years ago and you think, that must be only 2 years ago, and it's 4 or 5 years ago. Amy, you're laughing. I can't believe it.
I know.
I did a little bit of pretend acting. I was trying to be breaking my acting debut with Amy Young here, and production company we were working with. We did a little bit of filming out in, where were we? Mulnavat. Kilmacow, yeah. And we did a movie. It was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
4.5, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I think so. 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When time flies, huh? When you're having fun. Listen, thanks for joining. It's lovely to see you. You're with YouMe, YOUME in Waterford, selling environmentally friendly and sustainable products. We'll talk to you now in a quick second. Firstly, put the call out there. If anybody wants to text in Mulligan's Christmas Cracker, just text in Mulligan's Christmas Cracker, text or WhatsApp 083 3333 975. Or you can call, because a number of people have said to us, we'd like to enter the competition if we can call in. And I said, you can certainly phone in if you want. There's no problem whatsoever. So 051 846 123. Audrey is waiting for your calls. That's Mulligan's Christmas Cracker. We've got the 12 Days of Christmas, courtesy of Mulligan's Pharmacy. Now, Amy Young, tell us a little bit about yourself first. Pardon?
It's Amy Orr.
Amy Orr. Oh, very, very, I'm very, very sorry. Why have I got Young here now on this? Amy Orr, tell us a little bit about yourself.
No worries. I set up YouMe in March this year because myself and my husband were just getting really frustrated with the lack of plastic-free products available. So we decided to try and make a change. So we set up YouMe, and we're hoping to focus on mainly whole foods in the future, loose whole foods, but at the moment we are providing plastic-free, reusable, sustainable products.
Okay, and how are you doing that? What are you doing in practical terms? How does the company work?
So at the moment it's online, but we've been doing a lot of markets as well. Nice bit of market research just to see if there's the potential for a shop in the future, and it's so far so good. This year's been great. We're at Winterville at the moment as well, trading there, so it's busy. I won't lie, it's getting busier, which is great.
Give me an example of the products that you have.
So we have a range of things, from a simple bamboo toothbrush to reusable cloth sanitary pads, water bottles, shampoo bars, natural deodorants, that kind of thing.
Bamboo toothbrushes.
Yep.
Tell us, how does that work? Where do you get the bamboo from?
So they're responsibly made in China, and the brand that we stock are a German company, so called Hydrofill. So we get them sent over we actually get them through an Irish distributor, so they don't have to travel too far.
And does a bamboo toothbrush, does it break up at some stage? Does it start disintegrating?
Yeah, so the head of the bristles are nylon, so they're still plastic, so you have to break the head off. But the actual handle of the toothbrush can be composted, which is a better alternative, I suppose, to, when you think of it, every single plastic toothbrush that's ever been made still exists in some shape or form. It never really goes away.
Would they not be recycled, I suppose? Some of them would throw them into recycling bins.
I think because the mixed plastics, Ireland's really bad for recycling. Let's just put it that way. The facilities just don't exist in this country.
And you mentioned reusable sanitary pads?
Reusable sanitary pads, cloth sanitary pads, yeah. So our tagline is back to basics. And the whole point of the business is that the stuff that we're stocking, there's nothing new about it. There's nothing revolutionary. It's all it's gone back to before plastic existed, I suppose. Simpler products.
And how does a reusable sanitary pad work? Is it just literally cloth? It's something
It's cloth, you just throw it in your washing machine and that's it.
And how are the sales going on that?
Sales are going great, yeah.
And in terms of Christmas, tell us about Christmas and tell us about sustainable Christmas. How can we have a sustainable Christmas? A better sustainable Christmas. Like what will you be doing at home now this Christmas to make it more sustainable that others may not even think of? And you just think, right, there's a simple way that you can make a difference.
Well, I suppose the main thing is the best thing that people can do this Christmas is to just curb your spending. A recent article in the Irish Times stated that Irish consumers spend 4.65 billion on Christmas on one day. So that's an average of like €2,700 per household on one day, which is a phenomenal amount of money when you think of it. So curb your spending. There's loads of things you can do in terms of like Kindle for gifts for adults, maybe even just get something small for kids. If you know someone with small kids, maybe ask them if there's something that they need for those kids instead of just buying toys that the kids might necessarily want or play with or they might have already.
And what about some people might say, come on now, it's Christmas. It's a one-off, you know. I'm sure you get this all the time. It's a one-off and Santa has to come and presents have to be given and a surprise is good, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, geez, I'm not saying, like, forget about Santa. We do Santa in our house. I mean, our kids are still quite young. By all means, get the Santa gift. But I think in terms of, like, kids don't need an awful lot. They don't. You know, I find that my two now, 4 and 2, especially my son, the last couple of years, he's been so overwhelmed by the amount of gifts that we ourselves have tried to just keep it to the 4 things: want, need, wear and read. So 4 items: something he wants, something he needs, and then something to wear, and then something to read. You can't really go wrong with books. Books are a great gift. And this year what I did was I bought... Well, I don't spoil a surprise.
Okay, he's not
but my nieces and nephews are too small to realise. But I bought the Focus Ireland book, How Will Santa Find Us? So, and they're getting the book and they're getting a pair of Polly and Andy bamboo socks from a local little Waterford company run by Polly Doyle. So they're going to get that, and all the proceeds from the book go to Focus Ireland. So it's something, you know. You can't really go wrong with a book, but it's also for a good cause.
And what about food regarding Christmas period? Like, we talk about a lot of people wasting food, I suppose.
Yeah. It's important for me to state that I'm no expert by all means. In terms of food, we do tend to go a bit crazy at Christmas, but, you know, buying the nice cheeses and all the extras. And it's fair enough if you're going to eat it, if you have lots of people coming over, if you're running loads of dinners and stuff like that. But it's not really essential if it's just a family of 4. So just, I suppose the thing is just try and be more conscious of what you're buying. Try and buy loose produce if possible. I know this country really doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, the amount of plastic and food and plastic is unreal. When you do, like, you've done bag packing for different sporting clubs and charities and everything is in plastic.
Everything, yeah.
What about Christmas trees? Somebody's phoned in. Which is better, a real tree or a fake tree?
You'd imagine that anything reusable will be better, but supposedly, by all means, if you have the fake tree, continue using it. Use what you have. That's the most sustainable thing you can do. So if you have the decorations already, if you have the tree, put it up every year. It'll last. Fake trees last. There's no need to go out buying one every year. But if you are looking at getting a real tree, look at something that's been sustainably grown locally, if possible, from the UK or Ireland. And then afterwards, make sure that it's disposed of properly and recycled properly.
Well, I suppose if you go to the lads, they're going to talk to you on the side of the street and they say, where's this tree from? Yeah, it's locally grown and it's fine, you know, and it's sustainably grown. Because they want to get a sale. Like, you can't prove. It's like somebody saying Wexford strawberries. You don't know if they're actually from Wexford, you know.
Well, does anywhere else in Ireland grow strawberries?
Ah, yeah, they do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, how would you... it's a hard one, isn't it?
It is a hard one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just research. Do your own research. There's I know the internet is like a big place, but if you know what you're looking for, you can find the information easily enough. Personally, we have a fake tree. We've been using it for the past 9 years now. We're not going to get a real tree, so I actually don't know where you would get one.
Yes.
But I'm sure there's some out there that are locally grown.
So if anybody wants any information on the company, it says youme.ie.
Yeah.
youme.ie, and all the products are on there. Somebody was on about the little discussion we had about sanitary products. It's interested to know, and how long would they last, these cloth ones, and like throwing them into the washing machine with other clothes. Is it sanitary? Is it healthy? This person asks.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, if you want, you could like soak them or just give them a rinse in the sink beforehand. But no, once they're washed in your machine, they're fine. One cloth pad, if you follow the directions, can last up to 5 years. So that's 5 years of not having to buy any disposables.
Amy Orr, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it. Happy Christmas to you and yours.
Thank you.
Hope you have a happy and sustainable Christmas, and good luck with your business.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Now, in a second, I'm going to be talking to Richard Grogan. He is an expert in all things employment law and also Christmas parties. I'm going to ask Richard about his own Christmas party in a second. Firstly, some texts and comments coming in. Please text in Mulligan's Christmas Cracker if you want to be with a chance of winning that prize in a little while. Texter in, tell me who in their right mind would want to throw sanitary products in a washing machine. Another person says, Christmas is for children. It's one day of the year. Enjoy it. Others saying, I had a tree last year, it fell apart. I can't afford one this year. I don't worry about it. That's life. That lady was right. Damian, another idea for Christmas trees. I've just finished several workshops teaching people to make a willow tree that they can use in the garden as sweet pea supports. Also willow decorations workshops. No plastic at all. And the willow's grown at the back of the house. Looks like some people were returning to the good life. Isn't it great? Richard, good morning.
Good morning, Damian.
Are you one of these people that'll recycle and do all that sort of proper stuff at Christmas?
We're all supposed to do that. I try my best.
Try your best. Richard Grogan, thanks for joining us. You're a solicitor based up in Dublin, specialising in employment law. The minefield of Christmas parties. I didn't know this. Are employers liable for anything that happens at a Christmas party?
Yeah, the position on it is they have what they call vicarious liability, which is a nice big legal term, but effectively is if you're having a Christmas party, that's organised by the employer, and what happens at the Christmas party, it's as if it happened in the workplace. So if somebody is subjected to sexual harassment, that's treated as one where the employer is liable for that.
Would you say there's a lot of employers that don't know this?
Oh, it comes as a major shock to some employers. And the issue on it is it's not just the official Christmas party. So if you have a workplace and people put a notice up on the notice board saying we're all going to go out this Friday evening to some place, we're going to have pizza and we're going to go for a few drinks afterwards as part of our Christmas party, our own Christmas party, that actually is treated as a company work function for employment law purposes. So if something happens at that, the employer can be responsible. And
is this actually written down in law, Richard?
It is very clearly there. The employer has the obligation in relation to any workplace activities. So you have the Christmas party, and a lot of those will have taken place at this stage, and the lawyers tend to get the phone calls either just coming up to Christmas or January as a result of those ones. So sometimes our Christmas comes after Christmas. It comes in January. But the other one that's going to come up in the next week or so, and employers need to be very, very careful about it, and that is Kindle. It is the one time that people come into the office. It's the last day, and the factory, it's the last day there. Everybody is in great forms, and somebody thinks this would be a great joke. And somebody gives an inappropriate present. And the next thing is the employer finds in early January a claim going in under the equality legislation for a claim that there has been that this has happened. Now, the employer can do a couple of things to protect themselves. One, if there's a Christmas party going, they should advise people that this is a work function and the normal rules relating to how you would behave in the workplace apply. Secondly, if they get a complaint, they then should investigate it and they should take appropriate action if it needs to be taken. If they do those two things, then they can protect themselves. But they need to be aware of what the issues are. The other one that seems to come up quite a lot is mobile phones, and people need to be told, employees need to be told, do not take photographs at the Christmas party and put them up on Facebook thinking that they're absolutely great fun, because they're the ones that come in. Now, I will say to you, normally sexual harassment in workplaces, a lot of it tends to take place at people at the same level, but Christmas parties are incredible for the number of cases where you have both men and women subjected to sexual harassment by superiors, managers, looking for, if I can call it this way, the Christmas kiss. And you can get inappropriate touching and this sort of stuff that goes on. And really, employers need to be aware these cases are coming down the line. They come down and they're very expensive for employers if they're on the wrong end of one of those. The
famous Christmas kiss.
Yeah, that's absolutely not going to happen. You have to be very careful. And it's managers particularly who seem to be the ones who go looking for the Christmas kiss. And it's just, you just wonder, where their brains were when that happened.
Yeah.
Because, and what tends to happen is the answer is, it was only a bit of fun. There is no fun when it comes to sexual harassment. And people need to be aware that I think the golden rule is if somebody says no, it's no.
Yeah, I'm sort of laughing here at the same time. I'm laughing because it's so serious. It is so serious. But you hear these traditional things of, like, what about photocopying your arse? That's not allowed either, I presume.
Well, yeah. Luckily, that was something that was going on 15 years ago. And
we've moved on, have we?
Yeah, it's no longer funny. But that is that's the kind of inappropriate behaviour. But now, really, the mobile phone is the one. People are caught. Somebody catches somebody in an embarrassing situation, and they think it's great fun to stick it on Facebook. And suddenly you can have claims, and you can cause a lot of hassle in a workplace for fellow employees, and for the employer.
Okay.
So people need to be a bit careful. Some employers now are saying, when you're going to the Christmas party, if you want to take a photograph, we're only allowing photographs to be taken, right at the start of the evening.
Yeah. When does the party end, for example? If people leave at some stage, or if somebody's getting a bus home themselves, or if they've left the environment, obviously the party is over. There's no onus on the employer to make sure that your employees get home safe or anything like that.
No.
If anything happens outside of a nightclub or a pub or the place, they can't be responsible for that, can they?
No, they can't. What sometimes happens, and there have been a few cases where you have the Christmas party and it's in a hotel, and some manager says, look, why don't we all go down to such and such a nightclub? That actually is deemed to be an extension of the Christmas party, because it's somebody in authority has brought it on. So again, it's important for employers to say, look, it's one thing if everybody else moves off and goes somewhere, but managers need, the party finishes in the hotel. That's it. Don't be kind of keeping it going.
Yeah. You've also pointed out that men also sometimes are likely to be harassed by older females.
Well, not necessarily older females, but
superiors. Okay, a management thing.
Superiors. Yeah, I mean, there's a view around that only women can be subjected to sexual harassment. The information that's coming through from surveys and all the rest is indicating that approximately 1 in 3 women at some stage or other are subjected to sexual harassment, and 1 in 14 men. So it's not as high for men, but still, 1 in 14 is still quite a high number. And so men now seem to be on the receiving end of sexual harassment, and becoming more prevalent as more women get into management roles.
Yeah, it reminds me of a film, a very famous movie from the 1990s, all right. Can I ask you this Chris Kindle thing? John has phoned into 051846123 to say he thinks the laws are quite unfair to employers, and the Chris Kindle issue just plays into the hands of the perpetually offended.
Well, no, I mean, you can get something that is, it's only going to be if somebody gets something that is completely inappropriate. So I don't need to, on the airways, set out what would be inappropriate. The fact that somebody mightn't like the present doesn't mean that it's inappropriate. But some of the Chris Kindle presents that are given, people think that they're great fun, and in fact they can be quite intimate presents. And therefore, that's where you end up in real problems. Okay. And again, employers need to be just careful to set out, if you're doing Chris Kindle, it has to be an appropriate present.
Then taste comes into it, Richard. And I know the law obviously can be an ass sometimes, excuse the pun. But obviously, to be discussing a certain item of Chris Kindle that may have sexual overtones in a court, that might be perfectly acceptable to one person, but might be a completely and utterly unacceptable present for another. Well,
yes, but the law on this says that it's an objective test. So I suppose it is the court will turn around and say, is that something that the normal person would object to? What they would say is the man the man or woman going in a bus to Waterford from Dublin, if they were eavesdropping on a conversation with somebody sitting in the seat opposite them, that they turn around and they say, look, so that's completely normal, or, no, that's, inappropriate. That's the kind of test that the courts apply. It's a very common sense one. But yes, you have to be aware of sensitivities. So what one person might think is great fun, somebody else might not. But the question is, would you regard that as an appropriate present? And I suppose somebody says that the test on it is, would you give that present to your grandfather or your grandmother? And if the answer is you definitely would not, then you're pretty close to.
There can be a lot of grannies and granddads now that are very open-minded,
There can be, but I think you that's a fairly simple test, and if you work on that basis, the chances are that if something is given, nobody can really object to it. But I think the big thing on it is Chris Kindle should not be intimate presents, and if they're doing a joke present, then it has to be a very tasteful joke, and it certainly can't be of one that would have any sexual overtones. And that's the basic thing. And it's a question of employers applying common sense. This is a time of year people get into high spirits, people make stupid mistakes, but they forget that the person who's receiving it can be extremely upset at what happened. So the person who gets this kind of present, or somebody at a Christmas party where somebody tries to kiss them, they can get very upset at that. And equally, if somebody thinks it's great fun to rub their hand down somebody's back right the way down, they might think it's great fun. Others might think it's great fun, but the person who it happens to might be very highly offended. And so there's a bit of common sense.
There is.
And I suppose it's what we say is that the test is to treat the person with dignity and to take it on the basis of these are work colleagues.
Yes.
You might call them friends, but they're work colleagues. So the boundaries are not the same as you would have with fellows that you're out with or girls that you're out with. Richard, it's a different boundary.
Richard, thanks very much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Damian.
Thank you. Happy Christmas. Richard Grogan there about the minefield that is a Christmas party. Damian, I've seen your arse playing soccer. It would never fit on a photocopier.